Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Okay, so there was a big story recently.
Yes.
Go ahead, fill them in.
So, well, first of all, let's talk about what rights do you have to privacy when you turn your computer over to get it repaired. So let's say you take it into Geek Squad or whatever. You see this dude right here, and he's like checking out your computer. But then he turns over all your information to the FBI. What if he's working for the FBI? That's kind of what we're going to explore today. So,
Okay.
In 2011, there was a very interesting man, Dr. Mark Redemeyer. He's a gynecologist in Southern California, Newport Beach. He had a problem with his computer, brought it into Geek Squad to get it looked at. Turns out they had a bad hard drive. And on the hard drive, he had a bunch of photos that he was interested in getting back. And so he was telling them, make sure you get those photos. Well, they sent the drive and the computer back to Kentucky, where they call Geek Squad City, where they got a bunch of dudes. And here's the interesting thing is, they found inappropriate content on the guy's computer. This would be inappropriate. They found inappropriate content. They immediately called the FBI, and they said, hey, we found some stuff on here you guys should know about. They got a warrant. They searched his house, his computers, and I have to say, you know, the guy's on trial right now for having child pornography. He had up to 800 photos, inappropriate photos, on his computer and his phone and stuff. So it was a good thing that they turned it over. But here's the weird fact, is the FBI was paying Geek Squad informants, or paying them money.
Interesting, okay.
And that's where it gets a little bit hazy, because up to 8 different Geek Squad employees were paid up to $500 for each instance they reported. And that's what makes them a little blurry. They could be considered agents of the government. And of course, we have this little thing called the Bill of Rights and the Fourth Amendment that says, hey, we can't, you know, nobody can search our stuff without us knowing about it, that kind of thing, without due process of warrants and things like that. So if you're paid by the government, are you an agent of the government when you look at that kind of stuff? So this is the interesting thing, is there was several emails back and forth between Geek Squad supervisors and the FBI that showed a collaborative relationship between the two. One where they were saying that they wanted to discuss other ideas for collaboration, as well as in 2010, there was an email where they were talking about a Best Buy supervisor and saying as school began, they were going to start seeing more instances of child pornography. Because of that, you got to kind of ask yourself some questions when you turn over your computer to Geek Squad or any computer repair place. Is what kind of content's on there? Is it possible that somebody could plant content on there? If I'm getting paid $500 every time I turn somebody in, maybe toss a little picture on there. Yeah. Good news is you can't do that because the metadata on the photos would kind of show that it was added afterwards. So that's kind of good news. But the Geek Squad has since come out and said that employees are not authorized to take money from the FBI. Excuse me. And in fact, they actually tried to decline the money, and the ones that did collect the money ended up giving it to charity. So that's kind of good news. The employees, the techs, unintentionally sometimes find child pornography, and so then they have an obligation to turn it over. Now, the interesting thing is that at Nerds on Call, we've had several instances, 2 in the last 13 years, where we found that kind of thing, and we've had to turn it over. We called our lawyer and said, well, what do we do if we find this kind of stuff? And he says, you have an obligation, not just morally, but legally, if we find something on a computer, we have to tell the authorities. So that's kind of...
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
We were talking about... in the old days, you'd have like a little camera and
roll of film.
And you take it in, and maybe the guy would like, whoa. Now you got to consider, if you're going to get your computer fixed, if you've got something on there like private photos, private videos you don't want seen, consider saying, hey, I want to watch the repair as it happens, and then you can kind of see what happens. So does that make sense? Or have them come to your home, and you can watch, kind of sit there and go, what you looking at?
Yeah, that's interesting. Never even thought about that. Never even thought about that. And when I turn into my computer, they go like, man, this guy's boring. He's got nothing. Just looking at sites about comic books all day long. I got another segment coming up. What are we going to do?
We're going to talk about, let's say you give your kids a tablet. What's the first thing you should do when you give them the tablet? How do you protect them? How do you protect yourself?
Excellent. We'll do that. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much.